Death Club.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Danny here. Today I'm talking to you about my apartment life with a Yankee landlord. So this series came out in June of 2019, ended in May of 2020, total of about 22 chapters. Now each chapter has about 3 extra bonus pages that are separate from it. So yeah, I guess that would come out to about 22. This is written and drawn by Hinata Aoi, and this was published over in Sunday Webbery. So let's just get into it right away. This stars our main character, Daichi Hirano. He is a freshman at a university and he's living on his own for the first time. The biggest thing about him is that he is an otaku, and now that he's living on his own, he no longer has to hide that side of him at home, thus displaying all of his moe stuff, be it posters, body pillows, figures. They are on full display, so that way he no longer has to get shunned over at home with his father. And as he's walking to the apartment complex he's going to be living in, he sees a Yankee or a delinquent girl talking, and he's getting scared, of course. We see it's this woman named Sakura, and it turns out that she is the fill-in landlord for the apartment complex as her grandmother goes on a trip around the world. And so thus starts the life of Daichi with a Yankee landlord as he is finally independent now. And it's okay. I didn't really know what to expect, I guess. I thought it was going to be some sort of rom-com situation between a main character and the landlord that's a delinquent. We just read something like this not that long ago, Red Mice and Ikoku, where a young man in college falls in love with the new landlord who is young, and we go on that adventure of them trying to get together. And here in this series, it's mainly the landlord Sakura teaching Daichi the basic necessities of living on your own, cleaning, cooking, all of that stuff. And it tried to get a little deep here, basically asks him, why do you suck at this? And he just says, well, at my household, I was focused only for studying, so everything was done for me, kind of thing. And he really appreciates her help because he's learning to be independent finally. He's understanding it's more than just having that excitement of being on your own finally and not having to hide things, give you passion, because a reason he chose this university that he's going to is because it's one his father approved of, but also they have a club for manga. There's been some famous mangakas that came out of this university, and that's what he wants to do, is make manga. So the time frame of this series, because I'm assuming it gets canceled at the end, is just during the summer before university, him working on this manga, him learning to be a normal person as far as hygiene and all of that stuff. And there's those moments between Daichi and his landlord where it's like, oh, there's some connection going on. She's able to express herself more. She doesn't seem as lonely as one of the other tenants have said. You think, oh, okay, there's something nice going on here, but the whole time I kept thinking, why the otaku bit for Daichi? I feel like it's such a cliche for this kind of thing. It hurts his character more than anything because, I don't know, there's just something about it to where it is generic and you can only expect so much. And I kept thinking, reading it, if he was just some clueless guy that didn't know the basic stuff, that would have been more interesting, I think, because having the otaku aspect, it's just like, I guess the thing is he has the passion to follow his dream, and that's something that Sakura here also kind of has with her grandmother, and she's trying her best to be like her grandmother to these people that are living in this apartment complex. So maybe there's that kind of connection, but I think something else besides an otaku would have caught my eye more than what this was. As we got to the second to last chapter, and I was reading, I was like, oh, are we ending right now? And I was going through, it's like, sure enough, it ended, and then I looked, I was like, oh, I guess that's why I'm reading this, because I forgot this was on my list for a while. I forgot it ended already. And looking at it, I was like, yeah, I mean, I could see why. It tried to do stuff, right? We got the introduction of the rest of the cast from the apartment complex, and it tried to add another element that people might get attracted to because he is the only male tenant. Hey, and he even makes the joke of, oh, this is like the start of a harem manga. Whoa, what's going on? Kind of thing. And it's very cliche. We have the older woman who likes to drink a lot, who stays up late. We don't know what her job is, but it's like something business related, I'm sure. And then we have someone who's close to his age, who is from the countryside and is just pure and innocent kind of thing. And then the main, I guess, quote-unquote love interest we would have is the landlord. And then there's someone else that was probably getting saved for another time because we didn't get to see who she was. But in the epilogue, as the series was ending, she kind of popped up. And I would have also appreciated if it was just more of a slice of life thing. And since you added these other characters, they could have been involved as well. I think Aoi here was trying to push the idea of like, yeah, this landlord and this otaku sort of fall in love at some point. Like there was an attempt of doing that, as it was brought up a couple times from a couple characters, but it just didn't go anywhere, and I'm guessing because it got canceled. So it's a bummer. All I could really say, at the end of the day, it was a cool idea. I think it caught my eye for sure, because Delinquent Girls are great and you could do a lot of stuff with that, but it just hit too many generic stuff in my opinion. And I would say I am interested to see what Aoi does next after this, just to see the growth and if she learned what went wrong here kind of thing. And the last thing to really talk about is the art. It's okay. There were some good panels in there, here and there, but yeah, basic slice of life stuff, nothing that really stood out. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this series, guys. Have you checked it out? What do you think? I would only recommend it because it's such a quick read. The chapters go by pretty fast, and there's only 21, including the extra 0.5s, where it's like 3 pages. That's after what just happened in the chapter before it. So if you have any thoughts or any other questions, you could always send that to unversepodcast@gmail.com, and then we'll bring those up on future episodes. And you can follow us anywhere on social media at unversepodcast, and we'll let you know when those episodes drop. So thank you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.